And Chloe.
So I've made some 4 ideas, so I had to choose out of one of them. But the one I chose was, I'm going to stop the order.
Gotta go back.
My documentary is a participatory documentary, and so it will include interviews with an expert, some participants with Usher syndrome, and it will have a narrated voiceover, and it will be also on screen, and also try and get some archive footage from like previous YouTube videos about Usher syndrome, and also how they see and everything. So it will be natural lighting because I will be filming in a public area because I want to see what their daily lives are, and also I will be also filming in a small room, so there will be some other lighting myself. And it will also be a traditional documentary, so I wanted to keep it simple but effective, and also the start of it would be in a point of view shot, so you can see what life is for a person with Usher syndrome. Here we go. For my documentary, I decided to do it on Usher syndrome. Usher syndrome is a genetic condition that results in hearing impairment and vision impairment. The visual impairment is called retinitis pigmentosa, which means that your eyesight eventually deteriorates when you get older. So I got diagnosed when I was 14, so I know what Usher syndrome is. And also the reason I chose to do it on Usher syndrome is I wanted to see when the person was diagnosed, when they realised their vision was getting worse, and when did they lose their hearing, as it doesn't happen all at the same time. The sound will be recorded at the same time of filming. Some of the narration will be voiceover, and we'll have some calm music in the background. The person who will be narrating it will be likely the expert and also the person who has Usher syndrome. They can talk about their lives. So the outline of the idea is, so the first scene will be in a point of view. There's a young child, you'll see a young child with their parents holding onto their arm, which is when they realise that there's something wrong because she needs some help, because she can't see in the dark. Then we see a teenager walking with their friends, holding them to their arm, so you see how it eventually gets worse in the night. Then you eventually go into an adult where their eyesight deteriorates into tunnel vision. So you maybe see that we'll also see an adult holding a stick to walk through, or having a guide dog, but it will most likely be a stick. And also, so they'll go completely blind by the late 20s. During the scene, the narrator will say what this person has, will explain what is happening to their eyesight, so the person who will be speaking will be likely the person who has Usher syndrome. I will be an expert on Usher syndrome, will explain what Usher syndrome is, how does it someone get Ushers, what test is done to diagnose the condition, and how common is it. So I've actually met an expert, I've spoken to an expert, and she said that she'll be in the film, in the documentary. Scene 3 will be meet a teenager with Usher syndrome, them explaining when they get diagnosed, when do they realise something was wrong with their hearing and eyesight. This person has type 2, which is, so type 1 is where they lose their eyesight when they're a child. They start losing their eyesight, and then type 2 is when they realise they're losing their eyesight at teens. And then also I've spoken to another person who has Usher syndrome, and I'll speak to them during a video chat because they live quite far away, and they still don't know if they want to be in it yet. So my friend Tanira, who has Usher syndrome, says she'll be after fate. And also an expert on Usher syndrome is the proof. So as I said, and also there's a chance I might be able to film in a hospital, but I did not get permission on the first hospital, but I'm going to try a different hospital. I'll need one blue kit, and the filming will be 17th to May to 25th, and it's likely I won't be able to film on my own, so I'll need one more person or at least 2 more. The film should be 5 minutes longer, and it might be longer. It relates to the feeding speed because we'll find out when the person got diagnosed, when did they realise they were losing their vision in the dark, and when did they lose their hearing, and what is their eyesight like now. I've met the brief requirements as the idea is a documentary 3 to 7 minutes long and doesn't break any guidelines and relates to the feeding speed. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Okay, so what aside from the first shot, what other cutaway material, what other scenes showing, not just showing the interviews, but illustrating the interviews, what other scenes do you expect to see?
Say again, sorry?
What other cutaway images do you expect to film?
Well, I also want to try and film in a hospital to see what the machines they get diagnosed, and also want to see some archive videos of like the child growing up. So maybe like, you know, seeing when if they maybe walking into stuff, because there are many people who like with Usher syndrome walk into things and there's proof of it. So you see what their lives are like, and also I will also film where maybe they're with their friends and seeing how they deal with, like, do they need help walking around or and stuff.
How is this an idea that could be interesting for, because obviously you've got Usher syndrome and have an interest, would it be how can it be interesting for an audience that doesn't have or doesn't have contact with Usher syndrome?
Well, I had research and there's no documentaries, literally no documentaries. There's like on Usher syndrome, and there's only one short. There's one, but it wasn't really informative enough. So, and also it's a rare condition, and it's a hidden condition that no one's about. So when they see it, they might not even know what it is. It might interest them to see what it is, because the name will be Usher syndrome.
And
so, would you have the opportunity to sort of show, you know, like,
The eyesight,
when you
like
spoke
that.
about
Yeah,
wearing
you'll see it. So
glasses.
in the point of view, which is when you see their eyesight eventually deteriorating.
Oh,
so
so
what I'll do
you actually
is
sort of
you
show-
see the grandchild and you see it's normal, and in the dark it'll be blurry, but then you eventually get smaller and smaller, and then it just goes completely blind.
Right.
Because the person who,
And
well,
would
originally
you
they go
do
blind
that
by they're
technically?
30.
Would you do that on the camera?
Hmm?
So how would you actually do that?
Well,
te-
I just
technically?
infect on Premiere Pro. What's it called? Vigilante, is it Vigilante? No, it's a circles. I just use a circle like I did with my last film last year.
Oh,
a
okay.
vignette.
Hmm?
A vignette.
Yeah, that's it. I'll say it.
Anyone else?
Okay.
No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.